Success is not an accident. It's not luck. It's not something that just happens because the stars align. Success is intentional. It is born from decisions you make when no one is watching. It's formed in the hidden places through hard work, unwavering focus, and relentless pursuit of what truly matters. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can build a life of meaning, purpose, and wealth, not just material wealth, but the wealth of a fulfilled spirit, a clear mind, and a strong legacy. If you're tired of wasting energy on distractions, if you're ready to step into the life God has prepared for you, if you're willing to work with your whole heart and focus on what truly matters, then listen closely, because this could be the message that unlocks everything you've been waiting for. Success will never greet the person who only shows up when it's easy. Success belongs to the one who shows up when it's painful, when it's quiet, when it feels pointless, and still chooses to keep. If you are waiting for your circumstances to be comfortable before you give your best, you will be waiting forever. Hard work is not a season, it is a lifestyle. It is the toll you must pay every single day to move one step closer to the life you dream about. We live in a world that worships convenience. People want results without resistance, rewards without responsibility, greatness without grit. But that is not how life works. That is not how success is built. Success demands sacrifice. It demands that you give more than you thought you could, that you stay longer than you feel like staying, that you show up with excellence even when there is no applause and no audience to clap for you. The truth is, real success is forged in lonely places. It's forged in the early mornings when the world is still asleep and you're already on your grind. It's forged in the late nights when you are tired, but you push a little further because you know the vision inside of you is worth it. It's built when you choose to prepare in silence, knowing that one day the whole world will see what you built in private. Imagine a young woman named Sarah. Sarah had a dream of opening her own bakery. She worked a full-time job during the day, and every night while her friends went out and enjoyed themselves, she stayed in the kitchen perfecting her recipes. She practiced until her hands were sore and her back ached from standing. She spent every spare dollar on ingredients and equipment while others spent their money on vacations and entertainment. People thought she was crazy. Some even laughed at her. She heard the whispers, "She's wasting her time. She's working too hard. It'll never happen." But Sarah kept working. She sacrificed her comfort. She sacrificed her time. She sacrificed her weekends, her parties, her vacations, because the vision inside her was bigger than the temporary pleasures in front of her. Years passed, and slowly her hard work began to bloom. She opened her bakery. It struggled at first, but she kept pushing. She kept showing up at 4 a.m. to bake fresh bread, kept working late to perfect her pastries. Then one day, the crowds started coming. One day, the line wrapped around the block. Today, Sarah's bakery is not just a success, it's a landmark in her city. And all those people who once laughed at her, they now stand in line to buy what she sacrificed everything to create. That is the picture of sacrificial work. That is the price. You must be willing to pay now what others refuse to pay so you can live later how others only dream to live. There will be moments where your emotions betray you, moments where you question if it's worth it, moments where it feels like your sacrifices are invisible. But don't you dare stop, because the harvest always looks impossible until the season changes. You are not working in vain. Every tear you sow, every late night you endure, every time you discipline yourself when others are drifting, it is all building something powerful inside you. It is strengthening muscles most people never develop. It is forging a character that can carry the weight of true success. The truth is, anyone can work hard for a day. Anyone can get excited for a week. But those who change the world are the ones who work relentlessly when excitement fades and routine sets in. They work when there's no cheering section. They work when the finish line is too far to see. They work when it's raining, when it's dark, when it's lonely. And eventually they break through, not because they were lucky, but because they were patient. Success does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to consistent, sacrificial action. It responds to the one who says, even when it costs me, I will still show up. Even when it hurts, I will still push. Even when no one notices, I will still give my best. You want real success? Then commit yourself today to a new standard. No more half-hearted effort. No more giving up when it gets tough. No more working only when you feel inspired. Build your life brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice, with hands calloused from labor and a heart burning with vision. That is the kind of work that moves mountains. That is the kind of work that shapes destinies. And when it finally happens, when the dream that once lived only in your heart becomes something the world can see, you'll know every sacrifice was worth it. Focus is not just an advantage in life, it is the dividing line between those who finish the race and those who never even leave the starting blocks. In a world flooded with noise, opinions, and endless distractions, your ability to focus has become more valuable than any natural talent or opportunity. Focus is the master key, the thing that unlocks every other door. Without it, you can have potential, but you will waste it. You can have dreams, but you will keep them trapped in your mind. You can have ideas, but you will never give them life. The sad truth is, most people don't fail because they aren't talented enough. They fail because they scatter their energy in 1,000 directions and never give themselves permission to master one thing. They chase every shiny object. They run after every new idea. They listen to every opinion. And in the end, they find themselves exhausted but empty-handed, wondering why their life feels like a series of unfinished projects instead of a legacy of completed victories. Focus is the discipline of saying no. It's the strength to silence the distractions, to mute the noise, and to remind yourself every single day what matters most. It's the courage to walk away from good things so you can pursue the great thing. Because the truth is, the enemy of the best is not the worst, it's the good enough. And if you settle for what is merely good enough, you will never step into what is extraordinary. Let me tell you a short story about a young man named David. David was incredibly gifted. He could sing, he could write, he could play sports, and he had a mind sharp enough to succeed in almost anything he tried. His problem wasn't ability, his problem was focus. Every time an opportunity came along, David would chase it. Every time someone praised a new skill, David would invest in it. Every time he saw someone succeeding at something else, he would shift directions. On the surface, he looked busy, he looked productive, but deep down, he was running in circles. Years passed. David worked harder than most people, but his life never moved forward. His peers who had chosen a single path, who had poured their energy into mastering one thing, began to surpass him. Their businesses grew, their names became known, their dreams took flight, and David, for all his talent, was left feeling frustrated, bitter, and broken inside. He had mistaken movement for progress. He had confused busyness for destiny. But movement without focus is just motion. It's motion that burns your energy, burns your time, and leaves you no closer to your God-given purpose. One day, after another failed attempt, at chasing a new idea, David finally got still. He sat down with nothing but a notebook and a heavy heart. He asked himself a simple question: what matters most? What has God truly called me to do? For the first time, he let everything else fall away. He chose one vision. He cut away the distractions. He focused his entire being on the mission that set his soul on fire. Everything changed. In the next few years, David accomplished more by focusing on one assignment than he had in the past decade of running after everything else. His gift made room for him not because he suddenly became more talented, but because he finally became focused. That is the power of focus. It gathers your strength into a force that cannot be stopped. It brings clarity to your vision and fire to your steps. It turns your small daily actions into unstoppable momentum. Focus is how you take control of your life and stop being controlled by the demands and distractions of the world around you. Focus will cost you. It will cost you approval, because when you focus, you stop trying to please everyone. It will cost you comfort, because focus demands you stay disciplined while others drift. It will cost you options, because you cannot chase 10 dreams and expect to catch any of them. But what you gain through focus, purpose, power, fulfillment, impact far outweighs anything you have to give up. You were not created to live a scattered life. You were not designed to drift with the tides of culture, chasing every trend, answering every call. You were made to run a race, to fight a good fight, to finish the work you were placed on this earth to do. But you cannot finish what you refuse to focus on. Make a decision today. Choose what matters most. Write it down. Look at it every morning. Measure every action, every opportunity, every relationship against it. If it does not move you closer to your purpose, have the courage to walk away. Have the wisdom to protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Your life will be built not by the things you say yes to, but by the things you say no to. Focus is your power. Use it. Guard it. Let it transform your life into something that echoes through generations. There is nothing more tragic than climbing the ladder of success only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Life moves fast, and if you're not intentional, you can spend years chasing things that look impressive but leave your soul empty. Success without substance is not success at all. It is a slow, painful death of the spirit disguised as achievement. To live fully, to live rightly, you must prioritize what actually matters, not what glitters, not what shouts the loudest, but what is truly eternal, truly impactful, truly aligned with the deepest part of who you are. The world will constantly try to pull you in 100 directions. It will tell you that fame matters more than faith, that appearance matters more than integrity, that possessions matter more than peace. But at the end of your life, none of that noise will matter. The cars you drove, the followers you had, the titles you wore, none of it will follow you into eternity. What will matter are the things that cannot be measured on a resume. Your character, your obedience to your purpose, the lives you touched, the love you gave, the faith you held on to even when it was hard. There's a man named Marcus whose story is a perfect example. Marcus was a brilliant businessman. Early in his career, he set a goal to become a millionaire by 35, and he worked relentlessly to achieve it. Long nights, early mornings, endless meetings, he did whatever it took. By 34, he had it all. The luxury house, the exotic cars, the admiration of peers. From the outside, Marcus looked like the definition of success. But inside, Marcus was crumbling. His health was failing. His marriage was a formality, not a relationship. His children barely knew him. The God he once prayed to was now just a distant memory. All the things that truly mattered had been sacrificed on the altar of more money, more recognition, more validation. One night, sitting alone in his beautiful house, Marcus felt a hollowness so deep it terrified him. He realized he had gained the world but lost himself in the process. In that moment, Marcus made a decision, a real one. He walked away from the relentless pursuit of empty success and began the slow, humbling process of rebuilding his life around what mattered most. He sought forgiveness, he rebuilt relationships, he took care of his body, he returned to his faith. He started using his skills not just to make money, but to serve and lift others. Marcus became wealthy in a way money could never measure. His heart was full, his family was restored, and his life had purpose again. That is the kind of success worth fighting for. That is the kind of wealth that truly satisfies. If you don't prioritize what matters, the world will prioritize it for you, and the world's priorities will rob you of joy, peace, and meaning. You must set your values in stone before life's storms try to wash them away. Your relationship with God must come before your relationship with success. Your family must come before your fame. Your health must come before your hustle. Your purpose must come before your popularity. Because the truth is, when everything else is stripped away, and it will be, someday only what is rooted in love, faith, and purpose will remain. Your soul knows this. Deep down, you already feel it. You feel the difference between the cheap high of achievement and the lasting peace of living on purpose. You feel the tug inside when you drift too far from what matters. You feel the ache when you win the applause of the world but lose the quiet approval of your own heart. Don't ignore that voice. Listen to it. It is leading you back to what matters. Start today. Realign your life. Look at your calendar, your bank account, your daily habits. They will show you what you truly prioritize. If they don't reflect your real values, change them. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because the longer you delay, the harder it becomes to turn back. It's not too late to build a life that matters. It's not too late to live a story that makes heaven smile. It's not too late to choose depth over distraction, meaning over metrics, eternity over applause. Success is not about stacking up trophies that gather dust. Success is about living a life that leaves a mark on eternity. It's about knowing when you take your last breath, you spent your days chasing the right things. Prioritize what actually matters, and you won't just succeed in the eyes of the world. You will succeed in the only way that truly counts. Success is never an overnight event. It is always a slow, deliberate process that unfolds over time, often much longer than you think, and certainly longer than you want. Patience in the process is not just a nice idea, it is a requirement. If you cannot endure the slow seasons, if you cannot be trusted to stay faithful when it feels like nothing is happening, you will never taste the sweetness of a harvest. Impatience kills more dreams than failure ever will, because impatience convinces people to give up right before their breakthrough was about to arrive. We live in an instant world, instant gratification, instant results, instant applause, but real success, real legacy, real impact takes time to build. It is like planting a seed deep in the ground. For a long time, you see nothing, you water it, you nurture it, you protect it, but days go by, weeks go by, months even. And still, from the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But under the surface, that seed is growing roots. It is establishing a foundation strong enough to support the future growth that everyone will eventually see. Without the patience to endure that invisible season, the seed would never become the mighty tree it was destined to be. There was a man named Ethan who dreamed of becoming a master carpenter. As a boy, he would sit for hours watching the old craftsmen shape wood into works of art. When he grew older, he found a mentor, an elderly man who had been working with wood for over 50 years. Ethan was eager, passionate, and ready to create masterpieces. He thought that with a few months of training, he would be crafting greatness. But his mentor had other plans. For the first year, all Ethan was allowed to do was sand wood. Day after day, hour after hour, sanding, smoothing rough edges, shaping surfaces with painstaking precision, no carving, no building, no recognition, just sanding. Some days, Ethan felt like quitting. He wondered if he was wasting his time. He questioned if he was made for something greater, if he should be moving faster. But deep down, he trusted the process. He trusted that the invisible work he was doing mattered. After that first year, when his mentor finally handed him a chisel and said, "Now you are ready," Ethan realized something powerful. His hands had learned patience. His eyes had learned to see details most people miss. His mind had developed a deep respect for the materials he worked with. When he finally began building, his work was breathtaking. His creations carried a soul that could only be born through patience. Today, Ethan's pieces are priceless, not because they were rushed, but because they were forged through a commitment to the process. This is what most people miss. They want to build something that lasts, but they don't want to be hidden. They want greatness, but they don't want to endure the seasons of silence. Every moment you stay faithful when it would be easier to quit, you are building unseen strength. Every day you show up when no one is watching, you are establishing a foundation that cannot be shaken. Every time you choose to believe, even when there is no evidence, you are getting closer to the promise God placed inside of you. Impatience whispers lies. It tells you you're behind. It tells you it's too late. It tells you if it were meant to be, it would have happened already. But patience tells the truth. Patience says great things take time. Patience says you're not behind, you're being prepared. Patience says the season of hiddenness is not a punishment, it's protection. You must learn to honor the process. Respect the timing. A rushed harvest is a rotten harvest. A rushed success is a fragile success. Only what is patiently built can stand the test of storms and time. Stay steady. Stay planted. Water your vision with daily discipline. Nurture your dream with faith and persistence. Protect it from the weeds of doubt and comparison. Patience in the process is not a weakness, it is a weapon. If you can master patience, you can master anything. And if you stay faithful in the waiting, your harvest will not just arrive, it will overflow. If you want to live an extraordinary life, you must make extraordinary decisions. Work harder than the excuses. Focus sharper than the distractions. Hold tighter to what truly matters than to what tempts you. Remember, the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but to the one who endures until the end. Success is already inside of you. It's not about becoming something different. It's about unlocking what was placed inside you from the beginning. So today, choose to work. Choose to focus. Choose to build what matters most. And watch as success, the real kind of success, begins to chase you down, overtake you, and bless you beyond what you can imagine. This is your time. Work hard, focus up, build the life you were born to live.